In this video, we're going to talk about discipline. This video is part of a series intended to explain portions of the Alabama's Procedural Safeguards Special Education Rights. This video is not intended to replace reading the entire Procedural Safeguards document. School or district personnel may consider any unique circumstances on a case-by-case basis when determining whether a change of placement made in accordance with the following requirements related to discipline is appropriate for a student with a disability who violates a school code of student conduct. School or district personnel may, for not more than 10 school days in a row, remove a student with a disability who violates a code of student conduct from the student's current placement. A student with a disability may be suspended, placed in an appropriate interim alternative education setting, or placed in another setting. Once a student with a disability has been removed from the current placement for a total of 10 days in the same school year, the school or district must provide services during any subsequent days of removal in that school year. A removal of a student with a disability from the student's current educational placement is a change of placement if the removal is for more than 10 school days in a row, or the series of removals totals more than 10 school days in a school year. On the date the school or district decides to make a removal, which is a change of placement due to a violation of a code of student conduct, the school or district must notify the parent of the decision and provide the parent with a procedural safeguards notice. Within 10 school days of any decision to change the placement of a student with a disability because of a violation of a code of student conduct, the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent must convene and review all relevant information in the student's file, including the student's IEP, teacher observations, and information provided by the parent. Once all the relevant information is reviewed, the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent must determine if the conduct in question was caused by or had a direct and substantial relationship to the student's disability, and if the conduct in question was the direct result of the public agency's failure to implement the student's IEP. If the IEP team determines that either of those conditions was met, the conduct must be determined to be a manifestation of the student's disability. If the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent determines the conduct was the direct result of the public schools or district's failure to implement the IEP, the school or district must take immediate action to remedy the failures. If the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent determined the conduct was a manifestation of the student's disability, the IEP team must either conduct a functional behavioral assessment, FBA, and implement a behavior intervention plan, BIP, or if a BIP has already been developed, review the BIP and modify the plan as necessary to address the behavior. In addition to developing or modifying an FBA and BIP, the school or district must return the student to the placement from which the student was removed unless the public agency and the parent agree to a change of placement or if the conduct falls under special circumstances. If the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent determine that neither of those conditions were met during the manifestation determination IEP meeting, the conduct is determined not to be a manifestation of the student's disability. If the school or district, relevant members of the IEP team, and parent determines the conduct was not a manifestation of the student's disability, school personnel may apply discipline procedures to a student with a disability in the same manner and for the same duration as it would for a student without a disability. Remember, after the 10th day of removal, a student with a disability must continue to receive educational services. The school or district may remove a student with a disability to an interim alternative education setting, even if the behavior is a manifestation of the student's disability, for not more than 45 school days if the student carries or has a weapon on school premises or at a school-sponsored function. Knowingly is in possession, uses, sells, or solicits the sale of illegal drugs or controlled substances. Inflicts serious bodily injury upon another person on school premises or a school-sponsored function. The IEP team determines the interim alternative setting when removals result in a change of placement. The IEP team also determines the appropriate services to enable the student to continue to participate in the general education curriculum, make progress toward the goals set out in the student's IEP. Thanks for watching. This video is part of a series explaining portions of what is included in Alabama's Procedural Safeguard Special Education Rights. This video is not intended to replace reading Alabama's Procedural Safeguard Special Education Rights. For more information about Alabama's Procedural Safeguard Special Education Rights, visit alabamaachieves.org and search Procedural Safeguards.